And it is a great pleasure to welcome to the Book Talk segment of the program today, number one best-selling author of quite a few great books, including The Christmas Box. There's a brand new Christmas novel out called A Winter Dream. We're joined today on the telephone by Richard Paul Evans. And Richard, thanks for joining us. Merry Christmas to you. How are you?
Oh, thank you. I'm doing well. Thank you.
Yeah, I had a chance to read through the book, and I won't give anything away, so I'm going to let you kind of give the synopsis of it, but it's kind of an updated version of a biblical story, right, that you kind of bring into today's times, isn't it?
Exactly. I took the story of Joseph and the Coat of Many Colors and wrote it as if it happened today. So instead of taking place thousands of years ago in Egypt, it takes place in modern-day Chicago. Which gave it a really interesting feel and flavor and some interesting challenges as a writer.
You kind of bring it into an advertising agency is the business that you're dealing with there, and it's a son dealing with, I think he has 12 brothers, kind of allegorical to the Joseph and many, coat of many colors. But interesting how you kind of brought that to modern storytelling. What were some of the challenges of doing that?
Like, for instance, Joseph's brothers are very jealous of him, and I tell you, you could kill them, I guess, like they wanted to. But instead, in the Bible, they sell him off to a traveling tribe of Ishmaelites. Well, there's not a lot of traveling Ishmaelites in America today. And so it's like, so there's a lot of wordplay. They force him out of the family business. He ends up in Chicago at that big agency, the Leo Burnett Agency, where he's hired by Timothy Ishmael.
Right.
and there, instead of working for Potiphar, he works for Peter Potts, the creative director. There are no pharaohs in America today, so it's Mr. Farrell is the CEO of the agency. So there's a lot of wordplays. Those who are familiar with the Bible story will like that. There's things to be discovered, some obvious, some not so obvious. But that was kind of a challenge. How do you make it happen today?
I remember that from Sunday school, that story. Yeah, you mentioned some of those words brought back memories. So I guess, when you write a Christmas book, and of course you had the great success of the Christmas box, sold many copies. I guess it is a challenge to write any kind of Christmas story because there are so many out there, but you've found a way to kind of make some unique ones. I guess that's another challenge, isn't it?
Well, the reality is, before my first book, The Christmas Box, there weren't many out there. There wasn't that table of Christmas books when you walked into a Barnes & Noble, per se. That's one of the reasons publishers rejected my book. Who wants to read a Christmas novel?
Mm.
So the Christmas Box actually created a genre. It sold 8 million copies. The year after it came out, there are more than 300 major competitors, or imitations, I should say, that the New York Times did a story called "It's Beginning to Look a Lot Like Christmas Box." The New York Times has called me the king of Christmas fiction, and so it really is still my domain. So the books have done well. I've written 23 consecutive New York Times bestsellers. But there's wonderful readers who have followed me for all these years.
One of the great things about a Christmas book, like a Christmas movie, it's it's a perennial. I mean, every Christmas you can take it out and read it again, or pass it along to your children. I mean, it's that type of thing.
Exactly, and a story like A Winter Dream is something that you can share with your children. Or I've had at book signings. I've had 4 generations. I've had a great grandmother, mother, and daughter, all reading the same book. And so to find a book that transcends generation is really a blessing. It's a rare thing, actually, and these books tend to do that.
What's your process for writing a novel, not only just the Christmas books, but the other novels you've written? Are you a person that kind of outlines everything, or do you kind of get your characters in order and then the characters kind of take you in different directions maybe than you thought?
They actually do that. I'm not of the school of outline. I wish I were. In the case of A Winter Dream, I was forced into an outline because the Bible story is very specific. There's certain things that happen that you don't want to vary from. I have to tell you, in writing A Winter Dream, I consider it a very risky thing because I'm not a religious writer per se.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a religious person, but I'm not a religious writer. And I write mainstream novels. And so I was afraid about the fringes. I was afraid that people who don't read the Bible wouldn't want to read it, and that people who are very devout would be offended by it. As it turns out, my worries and concerns were unfounded. I'm sure that people who that don't read the Bible thought it was a good read. They thought it was a good love story. And some of the reviewers that are pretty harsh, especially on books with some kind of spiritual overtone, actually raved about the book and told people to buy it. On the other hand, I've had ministers tell me they actually have used the book in Bible study because it makes the story accessible and understandable in today's context.
Yeah, I haven't read it myself, and normally with novels I don't read them all the way through because I don't want to give anything away when I talk to the author until after I interviewed you. But I didn't get the impression it was a religious book at all. I mean, you knew there was the allegory there, but I think, like you said, he brought it into a modern time type of story, and I think you kind of bridged the gap between, being a religious book, nothing wrong with that, and also telling the Christmas story in a way maybe people that don't read the Bible would understand.
Exactly, and I put in there as well a love story because, especially since most of my readers are women, who doesn't want a love story? I mean, it's fun, and it also shows that Joseph's character. And so also for you men out there who are clueless about what to give your significant female other this year, it's like, trust me, you can buy the book, you're gonna love me. You're gonna buy the book for them, give it to them, and they're gonna suddenly think you're this sensitive, really, really wicked guy, and they're gonna ask you, how'd you know? And,
right.
I helped a lot of husbands and boyfriends out over the years.
It's a great idea. Yeah, it's a great idea for a gift. Well, what's been the feedback? Not only this one just came out, I know, but every year do you get a lot of letters and emails about your Christmas box? I guess you must, right? The Christmas box book.
Mostly emails these days.
Mm-hmm.
But this one has been interesting because, again, I wasn't quite sure how people would respond to it. The book has been really big. It's 3 weeks on the New York Times bestseller list. Sales actually went up last week. I just found out this morning. And it's affected a lot of people. And if you go to Amazon.com, of course, it's available as an e-book for e-readers. But if you go to Amazon, just read people's reviews. It's one of my highest-rated reviewed books.
That's great. Yeah, and again, you don't see as many great. Obviously, don't see hardly any on TV anymore. The great Christmas specials or Christmas movies, maybe a couple of cable channels have them. So I think people are looking for this type of story. They can read it this time rather than see it on TV. Where you don't see those great Christmas specials anymore. So you're kind of bringing that back a little bit. At least that's the feeling I got from reading the book.
Well, it's you want those feel-good stories. And I actually had a book signing this year that a woman had come several hours early and was reading the book, waiting for me to arrive. And when I got there, she goes, "I'm on the last page." Okay. And so we let her finish. It was funny because she finished, and she just sat there for a moment, and she looked at me, she burst out crying. And it's like, and my assistant goes, "Are you okay? What's wrong?" It's like, well, it's the book. It's like, well, it's a happy cry. It's a happy story. It's a story about forgiveness and about family, and some things that are just universally relevant to everyone in America today.
Well, the name of the book is called A Winter Dream. We've been talking with Richard Paul Evans today. I know you just mentioned Amazon and other places to get it. Do you have a website people can get a hold of you if they like, or is Amazon the best place?
No, you can go to my website and read more about it. It's richardpaulevans.com. If you're just new to my books, I think you might like them. I think there's something new for you to look forward to. Also, you can love on Facebook. We have a great community there.
Great. Richard, pleasure to talk to you for a few minutes, and hopefully we can do it again when your next book comes out. I'm sure you'll have another one next year sometime, right?
That's right.
And we'll talk to you then. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Have a very nice Christmas.
Okay, you too.